Okay, the topic we're looking at today is authority, religion and state. Now our keywords for today are authority, duty, justice, human rights and personal conviction. So, take a couple of minutes, write down what they mean, make sure you know what they mean. Once you've done that, start the video. I want you to pause it now and write down the meaning of these words. Okay, now we're going to go straight into the next topic, which is human rights. And so, just so you know, give yourself an idea. Do you know 3 human rights off the top of your head? If you do, write them down. And a question that I think is really important is that having a look at this picture, the sign human rights for all, do you think that should be applicable to everyone at all times, or do you think there should be circumstances, certain circumstances where this is not allowed or shouldn't be promoted? So here's some ideas of different human rights we have. And here are our religious teachings. Love your neighbor as you would love yourself. From one being, all races on earth were made. And do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Okay, now I really want you to make sure you understand how these quotes relate to human rights, and how they promote human rights. The Islamic teaching, all people are equal at the teeth of a comb. All mankind are made from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superior over a non-Arab. So one person is not better than another. The examples of Jesus are very clear. He touched lepers, ate with the poor, ate with the rich, talked to prostitutes and helped a Roman soldier. Now these people were the outcasts of society at that time. They were people that were not appreciated or wanted by society, or even liked by the Jewish community. But Jesus would go and make sure that he would show these people respect, dignity, irrespective of what his culture taught them to. He just understood that each and every single person had a value, and he promoted, he really promoted human rights by respecting and taking care and making sure he treated everyone the same. Now, the next topic we will look at is capital punishment. Now, some people argue because some individuals in society take away other people's human rights, they don't deserve their own human rights and therefore they should be killed as a punishment. This form of punishment is called capital punishment because it's induced by the capital, i.e. the state, and they punish them, and it's always a crime, or it's always a death. The argument from Christianity, these are taken from the Old Testament. Whoever sheds the blood of a man, by man his blood shall be shed, and a life for a life. Now these quotes are used by some Christians to support the idea that capital punishment is allowed. However, the majority of Christians don't agree with that because it's in the Old Testament, and they say that actually in the New Testament Jesus taught something that was really, really important. He taught people to forgive. And also, if you look at the quote for again, it's the first one is thou shalt not kill. That's one of the 10 commandments. And so there's actually quite a struggle with Christians and their views and a discussion about which is right and which is not. You would use one as your idea for, and you would use the other as your alternative argument. You wouldn't put both in the first 8 mark. You wouldn't highlight both. You would highlight one, and say some Christians would agree, and or some Christians believe that, and you would use the other against the idea in your alternative idea, because you can have a Christian alternative. In Islam, it makes it clear, whoever kills a man except for punishment shall be regarded as though he had killed mankind. So, what do we learn from this? Whoever killed a man except for punishment, as murder, shall be regarded as though he had killed every single person on the planet. Interesting quote. So what does that mean, and what does that say about capital punishment? Are Muslims for it? Are they against it? Are they for it in some situations, but against it in some situations? The argument against Islam is that forgiveness is preferable, similar to Christianity. And whoever saved a life, as though he had saved all of mankind. Again, this quote is similar to the first one, but it's talk about saving someone or killing someone. And now let's make it clear, the religious views on this are very, very similar, but you would never ever write in an exam, Christians and Muslims think the same thing, or Christians and Muslims believe the same thing. You wouldn't. You would highlight the individual points. So please make sure you have one Christian for and against, one Muslim for and against. Some alternative views or some other views that capital punishment is acceptable because it allows justice, it allows revenge, and it allows the people who are really, really dangerous in our society to be taken away from our society permanently, and the rest of us to be safe. However, some people stand there and say, no, you can't do that. Why? Because of this. Well, every single human life is important. So whether they did something bad or not, their life is still important. And by killing them, you are playing God. And not only are you playing God, but if you tell people do not kill, but then you go out and kill, well then are you not sending a contradicting message? And so this is still quite debated within society today. The next topic is authority. Now when we see this issue of authority, it's talking about authority from the Quran and from the Bible. Why do Christians listen to the Bible? Why do Muslims listen to the Quran? Why is it seen as such an important book? Why do they follow all the instructions from their holy books? And the reason is the books are an authority to the religious individuals. They see them as God's words, God's instructions to them to teach them, show them, guide them in how they should live and behave. Christians see the Bible as the Word of God, gives us rules, teachings on how to live. Have a look at this quote. It says, and this is God speaking, "Everything that I have commanded you, you will be careful to do. And you shall not add to it or take away from it." Now the first part is really important. Everything that I command you to do, you shall be careful to do. Now what's that suggesting about this teachings and the instructions from the Bible? That's the reason why it is an instruction. Muslims believe the Quran is the precise word of God. It guides us on how we should live our lives. Holy books, an alternative view is that holy books are old. They're not really relevant to our society right now. We're in the 21st century. They were written many years ago, and so they don't really relate to us. They're old school, and old school is no good. That's an alternate view. Most religious people will not hold that view, but this view will be held by non-religious people. And that's basically the topic. It's a really short topic because it basically looks at similar things. Punishment, different types of punishment, what religious views on punishment are, and authority. So again, have a go at these 8-mark questions. Give them to your RE teacher or myself. We will mark them for you straight away just to let you know how you're getting on. Make sure that you stick with the criteria. You use the criteria, your opinion, Christian, Muslim, and alternative opinion. Making sure you put the quotes for the religious views. That's why we're going through these. And that's it.